Welcome to Subramani. One question which I have never been able to answer simply because I am not good at accounting is, have my sell decisions been right? All of us spend a lot of time in building a position in maybe we take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to build a position. We keep buying and we build a position saying, okay, I have 500 shares of say LMW, or I have some 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares of Hindustan Aeronautics. You keep building a position, and then one day you decide that okay, it is fully priced, and you sell off. I don't normally go to zero position very quickly, but I go out also on a very phased manner. But after you go out, do you track what happens to that share on a regular basis? My answer is I don't, and I don't feel good, bad, terrible, anything about it. And I know that sometimes when I'm selling, it is just change of strategy. So I'll give you a great example. I bought maybe 2,000-3,000 shares of Apollo Hospital at 9 rupees 30 paise, 9 rupees 40 paise, something below par. And that was the time when the company was a great dividend yield company, and everybody said, oh, hospitals can't make money, because that was the time when there was a school called Sanatana Gurukulam or something like that, which was listed, which didn't make any money. I lost money in that because I believed chain of schools and chain of hospitals could make money, and I was getting a dividend yield in Apollo. I was not getting anything in Sanatana Gurukulam. I remember I put money, I remember I lost it. I don't remember how much I put. I made some losses. Maybe I bought it at 16 rupees, sold it off at 12 rupees or 13 rupees, whatever. I had some stop loss and nothing, it was not moving. And I would still track the company, and now I don't even know where it is, what happened to the building and things like that. So sorry, that is a digression. But when the dividend yield story in Apollo Hospital stopped, Apollo Hospital had reached the price of 135, and I told myself that look, here is already a 15 bagger from 9 rupees or 10 rupees, a 13 bagger, and that's it. So this is a great price to be selling. So I did sell it off. I sold off all my shares. I went to zero position. I said when it comes down for good dividend yield, I will buy it. But then it never came down, and I was tracking what was happening. So at about 420 or 445 or something, I decided to buy it, even though I never liked it because I was not very sure about the quality of management, and it had bad quality management. In fact, the flower shop and book shop or chocolate shop, whatever, was held privately, and there were just too many private limited companies. I just didn't understand the business. I didn't know whether they were accepting cash, they were not known, or whether doctors were accepting cash, which the management didn't know, or whether the management was participating. I just did not trust the quality of management. I said I will not take a position. But at about 400, I said, okay, I can't be so stupid and not take a position. So I took a position and exited at about 700. And then I entered at 900 and exited at about 3,300 or 3,400. This is post-COVID. I said, this is too much. It can't go much beyond that. And now I have not tracked the share. So I could have held from 9 to 4,000 or 9 to whatever is the price today. But I didn't, and I kept trading in and out because at some stage your strategy on that is over, right? So if you bought for a dividend yield strategy, you should sell off when the dividend yield story is over. So dividend yield story was over at 135, and therefore I sold. So I know why I sold, but it is not always that I track the shares which I sell to see what has happened. For example, my Colgate position was not built, it was obviously built on one single application in 1977, but there are many times when I've sold it and bought it back, and sometimes I've bought and sold again. So it's not permanently all the shares that you get in say in the application that you stick with, right? So you do sell, and sometimes you regret, and sometimes you get a chance to buy it back. For example, I'm a original HDFC Limited allottee, I think in 1978 or 1980. I'm not very sure, but it does not mean I'm holding on all the shares, because here is a promoter. You don't know what the company will do, whether it will diversify into other businesses which make no money. 5-10 years, AMCs would not have made money. The life insurance company didn't make money. The bank couldn't have made much money, right, for in the initial stages. So do you hold on to this? Do you say, oh God, they're doing a mess? Or do you say, oh, it's a Berkshire Hathaway of India, don't worry about what they're doing, their core business is doing well, and therefore blah blah blah. Now I don't even know what is their core business. Is their core business investing, or is their core business mortgage? Because mortgage does not have enough margins for others, but HDFC seems to pull a rabbit out of the hat pretty regularly. So maybe tracking your selling decisions is also very difficult and sometimes very painful. Sometimes you're very smart because you sold at 200 and you're able to buy back at 175, or if you've gone to position 0 at 200 and saying, I've had my fill, now I don't want this company. When you watch it go up to 300, you say, oh God, maybe I should have done my position sizing right. Well, all these things will happen. So I really don't know whether my sell decisions are already adding any great value, or because I don't have a software which tracks it. Now suppose I had a software which kept track of all my sales, and I could just go click a button and find out today's price, then I would know very well that what is the price at which I sold. There are 2-3 things which makes me sell. One is if I had my fill and said, okay, I think the best about this company is over, now let me get out. I may reduce my position in that to 0. Or I feel that now this MNC is going to get a lot of competition from Indian companies, and Indian companies are better at many of the things they do. Then maybe I would do, like for example, if Chansey and Citi were listed in India, at some stage you had to take a view that look, Indian banks are much better at giving car loans, home loans, etc. So they will wipe out these people, right? So you take HSBC's performance in mutual funds, not been so too great, right? So similarly, HSBC will of course improve in performance after Kailash Kulkarni and his team at Larsen & Toubro mutual fund moves in there. But right now I wouldn't, there's nothing to write home about. So if HSBC, AMC were listed, it would not be a very great share to have been holding for a long period of time. Similarly, I may take a view on any MNC or any company, or I feel that this company has not done its succession planning well. Those would be great signals for me to exit. But having exited, let's say I exit a company because I think it does not have great succession planning, and then I see the price going up, should I say that my analysis was wrong, or to say, well, 7 out of 10 times this is right, so this was the right strategy. In this case it didn't work. Since I'm not answerable, I don't do great record keeping. My record keeping is restricted to income tax requirement of calculating capital gains tax and short term, long term, paying the taxes. Not I don't analyze myself as a investor too often, but yes, occasionally I look at my return and I'm very happy with the return, because in many cases my shares are outperforming the fund managers. But I can also understand fund manager restrictions. I could do a post on that, which I don't suffer from. So those are my advantages. So advantages, disadvantages, all are there, but I don't have good software to track my performance. Well, the way I think I should be tracking my performance, but if I also realize that if it is too much effort, I will not do it, because I think my life philosophy is very simple. I should have money to meet my goals. If I have that, then beyond that, returns are just for fun. More to look at saying, oh, how much that fund manager get, how much did this fund manager get, and more for fun rather than for anything else. So I don't track my sell decisions, but if you do track your sell decisions, I think you will become a better investor. And you will also, if you write down in your notebook, which I talked to you about, if you write down in your notebook the reason why you sold, the sentiment which you sold, you will remember the price, you may not remember the sentiment. So if you can write down in a notebook, it will be very useful. It will definitely make you a better investor. I wish I was more disciplined and I had better quality software